best in the galaxy.
Heard about a job. Big shot gangster putting together a crew.
Who are these guys?
Han Solo, Lando Calrissian.
Whoa, is that a Wookiee?
On May 25th.
If you come with us, you're in this life for good. You in?
That's yes.
Alright, what is going on guys, it's Tazz here, and welcome back to the channel. Now today we've got for you guys is my spoiler-free review for Solo, a Star Wars story. So if you guys do want to end up talking spoilers down in the comments, I would be more than happy to do so, but just put a little spoiler warning before you say anything that could be seen as a spoiler to those who haven't seen the movie yet. But with that out of the way, let's continue. Solo, a Star Wars story follows Han Solo in his adventures dating back to about 10 years before the events of Episode 4 or A New Hope. We get to see Han's progression from just a guy on Corellia to the infamous Han Solo. And going into this movie, I had heard some, let's just say, mixed reviews about it, but I do have to say I absolutely loved it. It had great action, humor, emotion, and it was just a fun summer action movie all the way through. Lots of people have said that the movie kind of plays it safe, and yes, it doesn't add too much new and crazy stuff to the Star Wars galaxy as a whole, and it is pretty standalone compared to movies even like Rogue One, but I don't think that that was a bad thing. In this movie being so standalone, I think it was the right choice. It gives us a good origin for Han Solo, it gives us some more background on this character that we all love so much, and I think it did a really good job of that, and it didn't really have any crazy intergalactic ramifications to anything that really happened within the movie, so it was just a nice little standalone story that I think was executed very well. Throughout the film, we get to see Han's meeting with Chewie, how he gets his name, how he becomes a smuggler, meeting Lando for the first time, and even the origin of the Falcon, and I think all of this was just done so well. We also have some characters like Kira that Han knew from his time growing up on Corellia, as well as we meet some new characters like Tobias Beckett along with his crew and the villain Dryden Voss. I really did enjoy all of the characters within this movie, but I think the standouts for me, as well as for a lot of other people, will definitely be Chewbacca as well as Lando Calrissian. And I know that there was a lot of skepticism going into this movie about having Alden Ehrenreich play Han Solo, but I do have to say I think he did a really great job as Han within the movie. While he may not act exactly like Harrison Ford, I think that he did a great job with conveying the spirit of the character of Han Solo, and that's all you can really ask for. This Han Solo is much younger and doesn't quite have the experience that Han has when we meet him in A New Hope, and by that fact alone, you know he's going to be a different person, and I really think that Alden nailed it as that version of Han Solo. Someone who wants to be a smuggler and a scoundrel and thinks of himself as kind of the bad guy, when in reality we all know deep down, and he ultimately knows himself, that he is a pretty good dude. And that's why I think that Alden Ehrenreich did such a great job portraying this young version of Han Solo. But Donald Glover as Lando was probably my favorite in the movie just because he acted pretty much spot on to how Lando was in Empire and Return of the Jedi, as well as he had some great humor, and who knows, maybe he will get his own movie at some point in the future. I would definitely really enjoy that. But I think the main reason I really enjoyed Solo so much was because it was pretty much non-stop action with a lot of humor and heart all the way throughout. The action scenes were all really awesome and sort of what you come to expect when going to see a Star Wars movie, so they did not disappoint. While there were some things in the movie that you could say were pretty predictable, there were also some really great twists as well. And there was also one cameo that I'm obviously not going to spoil, but it made me just want to jump out of my seat and cheer. I was so excited to see it when this character appeared on the screen, so if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen the movie yet, prepare to be amazed. There were also quite a few really cool fan service moments letting us know how Han got this thing, or how and why this happened, or throwing out the name of someone or something, or some place that you would recognize, and I think that all of these little moments, while they were fan service and they were just thrown in there to say, hey, I know what they're talking about, I know what that is, I think that they were all really great. And as for the villain of the movie, we had two antagonists in the form of Dryden Voss as well as Enfys Nest. Dryden Voss was kind of like the crime boss of the movie, and Enfys Nest was kind of like the Boba Fett Captain Phasma character, not in the sense that she didn't really do anything. She was actually pretty cool within the movie and did quite a lot. She did a bit more than I thought she was going to do within the movie, which was definitely nice to see, but I would say that she's kind of like the Boba Fett Captain Phasma type of character just because she has some pretty cool armor. I also thought that the movie did look really good for the majority of the film. It had some great effects and environments, and other than a few areas of the movie that just looked incredibly dark, I thought that the movie just looked pretty great overall, but that's just a small little nitpick. And other than that, I don't really have any complaints about the film. While it's not a perfect movie because nothing is, in my opinion, I think the movie just worked really well. But overall, I think Solo was a pretty awesome Star Wars movie. You get to see Han, Chewie, Lando, and a whole bunch more with some pretty awesome action sequences, great music, and some pretty cool twists along the way, with some possible setup for a sequel or for certain characters to maybe appear again in other Star Wars anthology films. And while it might not have the biggest impact on the galaxy as a whole, I think it was still a great fun movie and is definitely worth the watch. And if I had to rank Solo, I would probably say it would be somewhere around the middle of my list for the overall ranking of all of these Star Wars movies. At the moment, my Star Wars ranking list would be Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back, New Hope, Last Jedi, Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, then Solo, Rogue One, Phantom Menace, and finally Attack of the Clones. But that's just my list, and other than that, guys, I want to know what you think of Solo down in the comments below. Have you seen it? What do you think about it? And if you haven't seen it, are you still excited to go see the movie at some point soon? I want to know your thoughts on all of this down in the comments below. But until next time, guys, it's been Tazz, and I'll see you guys in the next video.